Have you ever noticed how the smallest habits, those invisible routines you repeat without question, are quietly shaping the architecture of your mind? What seems harmless, almost trivial, may be the very reason your thoughts feel heavy, your energy fragmented, your focus scattered. We like to believe mental health collapses in moments of crisis, but the truth is far more subtle. It erodes silently in the unnoticed details of daily life, the way you wake up, the words you whisper to yourself, the rituals you ignore. The slow erosion of well-being doesn't shout, it whispers, till it finally breaks you. Most people overlook these patterns, blaming stress, work, or genetics. Yet science and lived experience reveal something more haunting. 6 ordinary mistakes you make every day, disguised as normal, that silently damage your mental health. Once you see them, you can never unsee them. Once you name them, you cannot deny their impact. The question is, do you have the courage to confront them, to face the quiet truth that your mind is asking you to hear? Because what you are about to discover is not just information, it is a mirror. In that reflection, you may finally understand why your mind feels heavy, how to free yourself. Have you ever noticed how the smallest habits, those invisible routines you repeat without question, are quietly shaping the architecture of your mind? What seems harmless, almost trivial, may be the very reason your thoughts feel heavy, your energy fragmented, your focus scattered. We like to believe mental health collapses in moments of crisis, but the truth is far more subtle. It erodes silently in the unnoticed details of daily life, the way you wake up, the words you whisper to yourself, the rituals you ignore. It's the slow erosion of well-being doesn't shout, it whispers, until it finally breaks you. Most people overlook these patterns, blaming stress, work, or genetics. Yet science and lived experience reveal something more haunting. 6 ordinary mistakes you make every day, disguised as normal, that silently damage your mental health once you see them. You can never unsee them. Once you name them, you cannot deny their impact. The question is, do you have the courage to confront them, to face the quiet truth that your mind is asking you to hear? Because what you are about to discover is not just information, it is a mirror. And in that reflection, you may finally understand why your mind feels heavy, how to free yourself. Mistake 1. The first mistake is deceptively simple, ignoring the language of your own mind. Every fleeting thought, every unnoticed worry, is a signal you are choosing to overlook. We convince ourselves that distraction is relief, that busyness shields us from introspection. But in truth, it is a silent surrender. You wake each day, scrolling endlessly, filling the spaces of your mind with noise, avoiding the uncomfortable stillness where true reflection resides. And with each distraction, a layer of awareness peels away, leaving you adrift in habits you do not even recognize as harmful. Consider the moments when your chest tightens, or your thoughts circle endlessly. How often do you dismiss them as trivial, temporary, or inevitable? Yet these are the whispers of your subconscious, signaling that the foundations of your mental health are shifting without your consent. Awareness is not passive observation. It is a disciplined confrontation with yourself. To ignore it is to invite quiet decay, a slow corrosion of resilience that shapes your perceptions, emotions, and ultimately, the very way you experience reality. And here lies the cruel paradox. The more you run from these small signals, the louder they become, eventually erupting in ways that cannot be ignored. The question is not if, but when, and whether you will recognize the warning before it's too late. Mistake 2. The second mistake hides in plain sight, neglecting the rhythm of your own body. You rush through meals, sacrifice sleep, and ignore the subtle signals of fatigue or tension. Society tells you that productivity and multitasking are virtues. But this relentless pace quietly undermines your mental foundation. Every skipped rest, every ignored pang of hunger or thirst is not a minor lapse, it is a subtle fracture in the intricate architecture of your mind. The body and mind are inseparable. Neglect one, and the other falters silently, almost imperceptibly, until the consequences emerge, like a shadow creeping across your consciousness. Think about the days when exhaustion drapes over you like a heavy curtain, when your thoughts feel sluggish and your emotions raw. These are not random moments. They are echoes of ignored needs, warnings from a system designed to protect you. Yet we pride ourselves on endurance, dismissing signals as weakness or inefficiency. And so, the cycle continues. A life lived at half attention, where the body whispers and the mind falters. Both paying the price for our oblivious ambition. The hidden danger is that this neglect is invisible to others. It is a silent erosion of resilience, a quiet sabotage of clarity and emotional stability. Only by tuning into your body, by honoring its rhythms, can you begin to reclaim control and halt the slow descent? Mistake 3. Third mistake is more insidious than it seems, neglecting the quality of your connections. We often convince ourselves that presence is enough, that seeing people, exchanging words, or sending brief messages satisfies the human need for connection. Yet the mind craves depth, resonance, and authenticity. It's not mere surface interaction. Each shallow conversation, its distracted smile, each moment when attention drifts elsewhere chips away at your emotional foundation. It's the heart senses neglect, even when words pretend otherwise, and the mind records every subtle fracture, is quietly accumulating the weight of isolation. Have you ever felt alone in a crowd? That ache is the echo of this mistake, a reminder that presence without engagement is empty. Social interactions become hollow rituals, feeding the illusion of belonging while silently eroding the resilience of your mind. The paradox is cruel. The more connected you seem externally, the more fragile your internal world can become. True. Mental health requires nurturing relationships that mirror your inner reality, where empathy, honesty, and vulnerability are not just ideals, but daily practices. And so, ignoring this truth is not harmless. It is a quiet decay, a slow dismantling of the structures that sustain emotional stability. Only by seeking genuine connection, by honoring both yourself and others, can this silent damage be halted and reversed. Mistake 4. The fourth mistake is hiding in the stories you tell yourself. Every day your mind spins narratives about your worth, your failures, your fears. Often these stories go unquestioned, repeating in loops, shaping reality without permission. You believe them because they feel familiar, but familiarity does not equal truth. Each unchallenged thought is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious, growing silently until it dominates perception, mood, and action. You carry invisible weights, burdens crafted by assumptions, biases, and distorted self-beliefs. And yet you call it normal thinking, unaware of the quiet damage it inflicts. Have you noticed how some days feel heavier than others? Not because of events, but because of the internal monologue that dictates your reality? This is the fourth silent saboteur, a subtle but relentless architect of anxiety, depression, and inner unrest. The cruel twist is that these stories often masquerade as protection, as self-preservation. But in truth, they imprison, reinforcing limitations and quietly eroding the resilience of the mind. Awareness, critical reflection, and gentle confrontation are the only tools to dismantle these invisible chains. Ignoring them is a form of quiet surrender. Confronting them is the first act of liberation. To reclaim mental clarity, you must learn to question, to listen, and to rewrite the narratives that have long dictated the rhythm of your mind. Mistake 5. The fifth mistake lies in neglecting your inner silence. In a world overflowing with noise, distraction, and constant input, you forget the power of stillness. Moments without stimulation, without screens, without endless chatter, are often dismissed as unproductive. But these are the spaces where the mind are in Ninar. Each day spent avoiding silence is a day lost to subtle erosion. Thoughts become tangled, emotions unprocessed, and clarity drifts further from reach. The mind craves reflection, a chance to observe itself, yet you flee from it, fearing what may surface in the quiet. Have you felt restless when stillness descends, as if your own thoughts are too heavy to bear? This is no accident. It is a sign that the mind has been deprived of its essential rhythm, quietly fracturing resilience, focus, and emotional stability. Silence is not emptiness, is the canvas upon which awareness paints its most vivid truths. Avoiding it may feel safer, but it allows unnoticed damage to accumulate, shaping perceptions, decisions, and emotional responses with subtle cruelty to reclaim mental balance. You must seek these quiet moments, embrace them, and let them guide you. Only then can the silent erosion be halted, giving space for clarity, self-understanding, and emotional resilience to flourish once more. Mistake 6. The sixth mistake is the refusal to honor your own emotions. Too often you push feelings aside, labeling them inconvenient, inappropriate, or weak. Anger, sadness, fear, even joy, each carries vital information about your inner world. Yet you may treat them as enemies instead of guides. Suppressing emotions is a silent architect of mental erosion. What is ignored does not vanish. It festers quietly, shaping thoughts, decisions, and perceptions without consent. The mind begins to fracture, not in dramatic outbursts, but in subtle dissonance that clouds clarity and erodes resilience. Have you ever wondered why some days feel inexplicably heavy? Why motivation wanes? Why anxiety creeps in without cause? Often it is the unacknowledged chorus of emotions demanding attention. Each note warning of internal imbalance that has been quietly ignored. Embracing emotions requires courage, the willingness to feel fully, to sit with discomfort, to explore. Vulnerability. This is not weakness, but mastery and alignment of mind and soul, reclamation of mental sovereignty that silently repairs the damage caused by neglect. By acknowledging and honoring your feelings, you create a dialogue with your inner world, transforming silent erosion into conscious growth. Only then can your mental health begin to heal, quietly, profoundly, and with enduring resilience. Asterisk. Now that you have traced the subtle threads that shape your mental landscape, it is time to pause, reflect, and feel. The mistakes we carry are not punishments, they are echoes, invitations to deeper awareness, to a life lived with intention, presence, and self-compassion. Silence, connection, body awareness, emotional honesty, inner reflection, and conscious thought. They are not mere concepts. They are the compass, the architecture, the light guiding you out of quiet erosion and into resilience. Notice how your mind feels differently now, lighter, more attentive. Each insight acts like a key unlocking doors that have long been closed, revealing rooms of thought, clarity, and potential you had forgotten existed. This journey is not over, it never truly ends. Awareness is a ripple, a subtle vibration that continues after the video, touching moments you never expected, reshaping your perceptions, reactions, and choices in ways you cannot yet measure. Carry this knowledge with you, not as advice, but as lived truth. Feel it resonate in your body, your breath, your attention. Let it guide small actions, silent rituals, and profound decisions that honor your mind and spirit. The path to mental health is quiet, hidden in the everyday, and choices often overlooked. But each conscious step strengthens you, builds resilience, and illuminates the unseen patterns that once controlled you. And when you pause, when you truly listen, you will notice a shift, a gentle clarity, a renewed presence, a softening of burdens long carried. This is not magic. It is your mind realigning, your inner landscape healing, quietly, persistently, profoundly. Remember, transformation begins where awareness meets action, the small, often invisible decisions that shape the architecture of your life. Each moment you choose presence, clarity, and self-care, you are rewriting your story, silently and powerfully. Carry this revelation beyond the screen. Let it linger in moments of stillness, in conversations, in your rituals, and in the quiet of night. The echo of awareness is stronger than any moment of distraction, deeper than any fleeting thought, more enduring than any external circumstance. And now, with this knowledge stirring inside, take the next step. Breathe, observe, act. Your mind, honor your feelings, embrace your silence. The journey has begun, and your mental health will never be the same.